everyone. Welcome to the Evening Reader. I'm Priscilla. Welcome if you are new. Welcome back if you are not new. I did a video yesterday and here I am back again the next day. Who am I? You don't know. I'm so mysterious. Sometimes I don't post at all. Then I post 2 days in a row. What's happening? No one knows. No. Anyway. It's Sunday afternoon. What can I say? I wanted to pop in and just do this kind of spontaneous video about the Read Your Own Books Challenge, which I am going to participate in. And this morning I saw MJ's video, and then I also just saw Fred's Rules of Engagement video, and I know people have been posting about this, but I kind of saw their videos today and got the spirit, so I thought that I would pop on and do a video about why I'm joining the challenge and what my plans are as a participant, because this is a really cool challenge. The hosts are Ollie from Criminali, Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, MJ from Reading This Life, and Crystal from Fiber Artsy, and I will link all of their channels below. And this is just a really cool, really fun challenge. If you're like me and you've just got a lot of unread books, or maybe even not so many unread books, but you just want to focus on reading those books, this is the challenge for you. Yeah, I love doing challenges like this. Back when I was a book blogger, there was a challenge called the Mount TBR Challenge, and it was always the first 4 months of the year. And you just, read from your own shelf. You didn't get books from the library, you didn't buy any new books, and it was always just, it felt really good to sort of focus. And, I think I read some great books that I maybe would probably still be sitting on my shelf, or may have, at some point gone to Goodwill, because when we moved here, I culled a lot of books, and for the most part, I've been pretty good about not buying books until BookTube. Until BookTube, really. Yeah, the influence is strong, and I don't blame anybody. I mean, it's all me. It's FOMO. It's getting really excited about all the possibilities, right? Like, I don't know. I'm one of those people who clearly does not understand the English language. I'm one of those people who can be easily swayed, like, oh, I could really get into reading history. I could get into reading lots and lots of history. And then I will go out and buy a bunch of books about history, like American history or British history or European history or Japan. I mean, anything. I just kind of Walter Mitty myself into these moments of, I'm going to be this kind of reader, or I'm going to start reading that, and it doesn't happen, but I buy the books. So I've got, if I wanted to, I could do a little bit, but it never really works. So I've bought a lot of books since starting BookTube. We'll just leave it at that. I mean, of course, buying books is it's like a nice little stress reliever, and plus it's just fun. I mean, really, there doesn't need to be an excuse to buy books, and in the grand scheme of things, I think it probably doesn't matter too much. I buy a lot of ebooks. I still do also, though, buy a lot of physical books, and yeah, but I realized, the FOMO thing is not working out for me so much anymore. I really want to get into, come on, Priscilla, you bought these books because you really wanted to read them. At some point, you really, really thought, you were going to pick this up in a week or 2 weeks or a month, and it was going to be great. and it's still sitting on your shelf. And that's true for years worth of books. So, okay, so gonna focus. I am planning to try to read around 40 books from my shelves. I have way more unread books than 40. I probably have something more in the line of 500 to 600 books. So yeah, that's not even 10%. That's not even 10%, but you have to start somewhere. And I'm not doing like a full no buy, because I realized something as I was rolling up to this date and I was buying books. I was like, I gotta buy some books. I'm gonna buy books. I'm gonna buy all the books, and then I'm not gonna buy any books. I'm gonna not buy books. I'm gonna make a list of books that I want to buy, and then after that, I'm just gonna stop. And you know, and so I was kind of like buying books in a frenzied way. A lot of them are like books on Kindle sale. And then I went through like my want to read list on Goodreads, and I used like the random number generator, because I have like well over 800 books on that want to read list, and kind of used the random number generator to pick books and bought some of those. And then I had like another list of books that I was gonna buy, like a list of physical books, or that I was gonna order or go to the bookstore and buy. And I did order some of them. And then at some point I started to think about it. I started thinking, wait a minute. You're doing the same thing. This list that you made of these books that you feel like right now are books that you absolutely have to read, in 2 months, that will be a different list. It'll be a different list. What's the urgency about these books? And so I kind of backed away. I backed off, and I did buy books. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't. And I'll talk about what I bought maybe another time. I have to link. I was so impressed with Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot, because she also just posted a video where she goes through her entire physical TBR, like every single book. And I was really wowed by that. And she's got a lot of great books on that list, but you've got to see it. I don't think I could do that. I guess I could try, but anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I backed off, and I decided that I would do this. I would commit to reading 40 books, a minimum of 40 books from my own shelves. And then I will allow myself to buy 1 book a month. Doesn't mean I have to buy a book. So there's that. It's not like, oh, you have a book, you better buy it. And no, if I don't buy a book in January, I cannot buy 2 books in February. I can buy 1 book a month. The other thing is that if I buy a book, I have to read it, like, immediately. Like, let's say I have to read it within 30 days. I have to have the intention to read it within 30 days. This, I think, will really work because, for example, like over the last few months, that's what I've been doing. I impulse buy a book and then I read it. I read it right then because that's the thing. It's like, oh man, I want to read this book right now. I go out and buy it on Kindle, or I pick it up at the train station or in the bookstore. And that tends to work. I mean, for me as a mood reader, that works better than anything. It's just that what I end up doing now, or have been doing in the past, is I buy 5 books with the intention that I'm going to read them all. When I buy them, it's like, oh, I'm frantic to read all of them. And then I read maybe 1 or 2 of them, and then I'm in the mood, I move on to something else, it's ridiculous. So 1 book a month, I have to read that book. I have 2 other, kind of reasons I would buy books. One is that I'm going to do footnotes and tangents of Bookstagrammer, is doing the Wolf Hall trilogy, the Hilary Mantel trilogy read along next year in 2024, and I am joining that. And so I have to buy the last 2 books. I have Wolf Hall already ready to go for January, so I will buy those 2. I will probably buy those used. I'm pretty sure I can pick those up at the Book Exchange here, which is the used English bookstore. And then the third thing is I have a buddy read with my friend in Atlanta. We, every month or 6 weeks, we read a book together. And while, you know, I'm sure I can like kind of try to steer us towards my shelved-to-read shelf, which I have on Goodreads, and which I will also post a link to below if you're curious about what's on my shelf. Maybe I'll think I'll just do that instead of trying to do the video, unless you guys really want the video. I'll link to that, and I still need to update it with the latest books though. Yeah, I may, you know, steer to that, but if there's something else that we want to read, then, or that if she comes up with a book, then I'll buy that book. And then I guess I do have a fourth one, which is, you know, if a favorite author drops a book that I haven't already pre-ordered, you know, if Donna Tartt is publishing a book all of a sudden, or, you know, I don't know, Elizabeth Strout, or I don't know, so many of my favorite authors are not alive anymore. So there's no danger. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. But if that happens, then yes, I'll allow myself that. But that would probably fall under the umbrella of that one book a month, because I would want to read it right away. So yeah, so those are my rules of engagement. Those are my plans, and this is really fun. If you're planning to participate and you have a channel, I hope if you've done this video, let me know and I'll go look yours up. If you haven't done this video, I highly suggest that you know, kind of get up and post your rules, because they're fun to watch. It's fun to see what everybody's doing, because this is one of those challenges where you kind of do it your way, but you still get the support of the group to try and help you really focus on getting those numbers down. And I think, you know, remembering why you bought those books and like going back and rediscovering the joy of the books that are already on your shelf. I mean, you know, like, what is it, all the, you know, you hear about like fashion hacks, or, you know, minimal wardrobe, shop your own closet kind of thing. It's just like shop your own bookshelf, right? You know, go see what you've got that might be great to read. And I still think I have a bunch of books that will still work for a lot of the challenges. March Mystery Madness. I think I've even got some for like Transcroll April. I've still got stuff that'll work for even like for Jane in July. I can always rely on, I mean, a lot of that stuff's in the public domain. I can rely on that. For Victober, I've got some stuff. Again, I can rely on public domain books. So I think, you know, I think it's going to be fine. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so that's it. That's my plan. Everything starts tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, there was one other thing that I thought MJ said she was going to do this maybe, and I thought this is really cool. Maybe I'll try it. Which she said she might deal with books like in blocks of 10 at a time. So, you know, like maybe building a TBR or a pile of possibilities and just getting, you know, 10 books at a time and maybe seeing what you read. I don't know if that's going to be her approach, but I'm thinking I might try to do something like that as well. Or maybe I'll do the number generator thing. Like, I think that's what Olive does on a book, Olive. It's going to be fun. There's all kinds of possibilities. So anyway, I hope that you are having a lovely Sunday. Let me know in the comments if you're planning to do the challenge, if you're doing it on your own. If you are, like, how many books you think you might do, because you can do it. You can do it for a shorter amount of time. You don't have to do it for a whole year. You can do it for a few months. You can do, you know, so many months and then allow yourself to buy some books and then do a couple more months. you know, there's all kinds of, it's very flexible. It's a very flexible thing. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me again this weekend, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and I hope that you're well, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.